All right, everybody. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for waiting. Had to start this stream from scratch. Haven't done this in a quick minute, but if you can hear me, drop ones in the chat. But yeah, this is a very dire results, dire performance. Always trying to make up for the lost time. But yeah, definitely it is frustrating. We're here for that therapy. We won't go too long, but yeah, Andre Johnson, Gavin, Brian Baird, thank you so much for dropping the ones. We'll get to the chat, what you guys are insightfully putting in there shortly. But yeah, I mean, this is as frustrating as a month as it gets as an Atlanta United fan. I don't think it could and has gotten worse. We are winless in 5 games, and we cannot stop the bleeding. Gonzalo Pineda has mentioned a bunch of things in his press conference, noting that XG is pretty good, that we won a lot of the stats tonight, but yeah, ultimately the goals and being clinical is what matters. But I think it's symptomatic. There's a lot of things that throughout his time here has been very much a pattern. And with that, it's something that I think fans are rightfully so frustrated. And like the title says, the fans deserve better than this. This is unacceptable. When there are 43,000 fans that are announced attendance, whether that actually was the case or not, it didn't feel like it in the stadium a little bit. But yeah, the attendance is dwindling. The people that actually care are dwindling. And if we actually want this club to move forward and actually do something in this league, we are now 10th in the Eastern Conference. Yes, it's a bad month, but 10th in the Eastern Conference is unacceptable at any point. And it's been that MO. We have had to fight from a really crap position pretty much every year. It's just, yeah. But Gonzalo Pineda has asked for patience. He, you know, one of the journalists wrote, or not wrote, but asked, okay, yeah, you know, what about the fans that are asking for a change? Well, yeah, the patience has already worn thin. There, these patterns are already 3 years old. Yes, you have the excuses, the built-in excuses of, yes, you have players that have been out. But then, when you get the players in, what happens then? But anyway, yeah, let's get into this chat real quick because you guys are rifling it in, and I love it because, yes, the passion is good. The apathy from fans is bad. That ultimately loses most of the casual fans. And when you lose the casual fans, and then when you lose more fervent fans, like the fervent fans can't keep this afloat. I mean, basically, you have fans that, I mean, I think many of us have tough skin, but, at one point, the economic part of this does speak loudly. So, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, so Brian Baird, you guys, yeah, he's like, how are you guys coping? LOL. I'm sure a lot of you guys are upset, and let's air it out because, yeah, I mean, we absolutely need to make sure the front office hears this. Whether they will or not, that's a whole different thing, but We need to make sure that they hear the grievances. Because, like I said on previous streams, essentially, if we are allowing this to happen still, if it's waging terrorism against Atlanta United. It sounds harsh. It sounds crazy. But allowing this mediocrity, allowing us to slide into more mediocrity and worse, people absolutely not caring. Because the water cooler talk is super important. When fans don't want to go to the game, they hear, yeah, okay, yeah, it's a great experience to go to a game, but that's a one-off. When you need to go and, they need to keep these fans going to every single game. But the more casuals that you have that go to these games that don't know what's going on, don't give the team energy, like the fervent fans can only keep it afloat for so long. Gavin Marshall says Pineda out. Nathan Davenport says Pineda should be gone. Jay Helvey, Pineda out. Jack Dickens says, if I speak, I am in big trouble. Yes, very Jose Mourinho there. And, if Pineda speaks, he should be in trouble. He should feel the heat. Is the front office going to do anything about it? Not really sure. Antara Moody says, I am an Atlanta native. Now that FDB destroyed what Tata created and there is no 2018 remnants left, bring FDB back and let's get our defense in order. I mean, yeah, a little bit is on the defense. I think it's a lot on the attack. But Jack Dickens says, Pineda out for sure, but I also think we do lack quality in the squad. For it's a mix of things, we lack game changers outside of GG. Almada looks completely checked out. I mean, Almada definitely does not look like the player that when he first arrived. It's, that's obvious. And he's a player that maybe is down tooling a little bit, maybe. But I think it's more so, yeah, he's got his head turned. He wants to go to Europe. And, I mean, ultimately, we're in a crisis. 5 games without winning. This is a crisis. This is unacceptable in so many ways. And if nothing is done, the slide will continue. It will just continue to be further and further into where people do not care. Brian Barrett says, it's obviously coaching. Look how good Almada played the last 10 minutes when we gave up on the slow build. Yeah, there's a bit of that. I mean, there's a time and place for the possession. There's a time and place to play direct. Obviously, yeah, we looked a lot better this year when we have played direct. Because I think, yeah, we don't have those technicians to actually, with that possession, do something with it. It's listless. It's unenergetic. The best moments of the match are when we are chasing or we're playing super direct, balls over the top, balls behind, because we know that we have the moments of magic from these players, like Yorgos Giacomakis, like Thiago Almada. And yeah, you give a chance with Saba in the box, he put it away. I mean, he finally did. He was actually able to find the back of the net, and he couldn't buy a goal pretty much the entire month. So finally, yeah, we get on the back of into the back of the net, but I mean, it's a little bit, kind of too little, too late. A lot of times, it's like a lot of the other years where we're trying to rescue. We are relying on the moments of magic. But, yeah, let me know how the stream is doing. I'm seeing a little bit of red on here. But, yeah, getting through your chat. Keep it coming, guys. Brian Barrett says Tata was having fun tonight. Yeah, Inter Miami winning 6-2. Yes, they have Lionel Messi. Yes, they have Luis Suarez. Yes, they have Jordi Alba. Yes, they have Busquets. They also have Julian Gressel. Yeah. 6 goals is always fun. And against the New York Red Bulls side, it's been pretty good this year. And especially, yeah, Tata. He solved the New York Red Bulls dilemma that he always faces. But I guess when you have a Lionel Messi, yeah, you can break down a side like a New York Red Bulls. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. Josh Ilsey says, I'm so sorry they lost. Gavin Marshall says, losing twice in a row at home is unacceptable. They'll keep decreasing the attendance the more we play like this and the longer we have Pineda. Absolutely. I mean, the slide is very slippery, and man, it's just I can't imagine how far this floor is. But how do you get back to the win to win the game again? I mean, one large bit of it is making sure that we can actually break down teams. Yes, it was a 5-3-2, I think, and they were tough. Yes, they were tough to break down, but we have the talent to be able to do that. And okay, yes, we finally played with 2 up top against the 5-man back line. So yes, you were able to at least do something there. But I think that's just one game. You have the 4 other games in which we drop points, which we shouldn't have. And, yeah, just dropping points against Minnesota at home, it's just, it's embarrassing. It's frankly embarrassing. Gavin Marshall says, at one point, it looked like we were about to make the top 4 after we were 2-0 up on Philly. And ever since we choked that lead, nothing has been the same. Yeah, maybe it's a sliding doors moment. Maybe that's a catalyst in which we lost a lot of confidence. But, yeah, I mean, to be fair, yes, we have been banged up. But this is... Yeah, we were only missing Silva and Gregerson out of our first choice 11 for this match. It shouldn't be this dire in the first half, where we only had 2 shots and 7 shots up until the 75th minute. Yes, you're not going to get a lot of shots against a 5-man back line, but that's just not good enough. At home is just not good enough. So if you can't do that at home, and you can't do it on the road, because we're absolutely anemic, well then what's the point? You need to find somebody that can to get results on the road. Because, newsflash, Minnesota United just did it on the road. If it's so hard to win on the road, which it is in MLS, we haven't done it in years. Okay, getting back into the chat. Antara Moody says, we are the Atlanta Hawks of MLS. Lightning, I'm ready to air it out tonight. Yes. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in, man. Hop in, Drew. Let me know when you're in, and we will get this going. But, yeah. All right, so Antara Moody, Facts Brian, Brian Barrett says, AJ's dead on about the bleeding support. Chris James says, I'm done, guys. I think I'm over Pineda. Predictable play, forcing it down the wings, horrible service in the box. I hate to say it, but I think it's time for a coaching change. Yeah, I mean, it's this. Also, we lead the league in crosses. Okay, cool. I mean, that's no big deal. But it's listless crosses. We're just pumping it in. We're not doing crap with it. So at that point, we need to try something else. Because if you're only doing one thing, and it continues to not bear results, well, yeah, that's the definition of crazy. But, all right. I'm going to try to do this while talking at the same time. Little bit difficult. Hold on. Let me get you on the stream. Uh, but yeah. Yep. All right. Let's let's get you in here, Drew. All right. Well, Drew, and everybody else, can you hear Drew if he speaks?
Hello, hello.
Yep. Drop ones in the chat if you can hear it. But and Tara Moody says AJ's gonna channel his inner Tanner tonight. Shit gonna get real. Yeah, I mean, Tanner is he's on holiday now. You know, he has moved on to his next career. But yeah, no, absolutely. I I am absolutely livid. But yeah, they can hear you, Drew. Let us have your thoughts.
The hell are we doing? The hell are we doing? We looked like we look like we're not going to make the playoffs this year. We look absolutely terrible. And it's not even the concern we had going into the season, which was our back line. Our back line looks fine. We can't produce any scoring chances at all. We can't finish. We look tame in the final third. And it's excruciating to watch. Pineda, I don't know if he's lost the room. I don't know what's going on, but it is just not working. And you can see he's scrambling for tactics now too. Even at the end of the game, why did we bring on Wolf? Wolf is good, but he's not what we needed. Our best player on the field was Thiago Almada. Why are we having him drop so far deep into defense, basically, to try to create anything? Push him out wide. Bring on somebody that can play in the middle of the park. We have another 10. We have Firmino. Put him in the middle of the park. He's another guy, if we're going to continue to cross it into the box, he's another guy that can get in the air. Why are we doing this? It just makes no sense.
And what was funny about that is that, okay, Tyler Wolf gets brought on, and then he gets subbed. So the sub gets subbed. That just like exemplifies the ineptness that's going on in the coaching department. If the guy you subbed on doesn't do anything for you, and then you have to sub him as well. So, yeah, it's like that's the definition of throwing shit at the wall.
We're a clown car right now. I thought we were bad last year at this point in the season. This is even worse.
Yeah.
This is so much worse.
It is worse because we actually have a better squad. And that's the thing. It's like, on paper, this team, because of the kind of new player bounce that we got, I mean, we look like, okay, yeah, you know, we might be able to do something this season. Yeah, let's go for some cups. Yeah, we're so far off of that right now. Like, those predictions look just off, terrible, and completely inept. And, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, okay, maybe a coaching change can, maybe, but I think it's still a flawed roster. I think, like some people have mentioned, we do not have the ability to play differently. Then we have one game plan. It's plan A, and then just hope for the best when that's not working. Because it really, like, yes, we try to play direct, and that more or less does get most of our goals. But we're I don't think we're good enough defensively to actually play and soak up all that pressure. We're just not that type of team, and the roster is not built to be like that. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure you have some more thoughts.
Yeah, we don't have another way. Our roster isn't built good enough at this point. I do think our signings were great defensively. We are miles above where we were last year defensively. Salish is probably my MVP of the season. He is the one bright spot I see every game consistently. The worst game we've had all season was the Toronto game when he was not there. And it baffles me because you look at on paper this front line should be good enough. It should be. But you notice every single game they just don't step up. And I don't know what I don't know what it is with Almada right now. He is trying to play hero ball way too much. He is dropping way too deep. Way too deep. Why is he picking the ball up at the halfway line almost, trying to create something when everybody else is in the final third, basically? It doesn't work. He is good in our final third. That is where he is good. And we just aren't finding him, or he doesn't feel confident enough to stay in that area. And the winger issue needs to get solved, because we can't keep slamming our heads against a wall and hoping that one of these guys is going to work. Mascara is terrible in that first half. It's just absolutely terrible. He was killing the momentum of that game, basically. We finally started to look competent when Saba's on his strong side, and it's just, I don't know. I don't even think bringing Silva into the team at this point is going to solve anything. I don't know what's going to happen here. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, to speak on your points, yes. I mean, so Almada and, kind of what is happening there. I mean, at the end of the matches, it's a thing where when we're chasing games and we take off a midfielder, he basically is that safety valve, because we know that he can keep possession. So, okay, yeah. But the difficulty is the further you get Almada away from the box, where he's most effective, where he can change the game, like, I would trust Almada in the box over most of these other players. So we need to get him service that when he's actually closer. But that's the thing, we took Muyumba off for a man up top. It probably should have been, this is hindsight 2020, but it probably should have been a winger. It probably should have been Mascara off, Almada on the wing, and then just really, kind of eschew that left side a little bit. Caleb Wiley, maybe another midfielder, hop over there if we need to cover. But basically, at that point, try to play with your midfielders so that you can get players into the box more. But instead, we're just crossing. We're not incisively trying to break down this side. Instead, we're just pumping in crosses. Hopeful crosses that we've seen time and time again. It doesn't work. The crosses are errant anyway. Yes, Brooks Lennon, pretty accurate with most of his crosses, but again, when you're just pumping it into a crowded box, it's going to be very difficult, especially if nobody can bring it down. And it's just going to be, yeah, you just recycle the ball. You pump it across. You recycle the ball. And then you try to do something in the middle. You lose possession. And, it's the urgency at the end of the match. Our last attack, we couldn't get the ball forward. Like, it's
Yep. Yep.
absolutely
We're
frustrating.
playing with it at the halfway line. It.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's
it was painful to watch. It was.
yeah. Absolutely.
At
And
least when we were bad, we knew it, and we didn't have the hope and we understood that, okay, we're just trying to get results here. This team we have so much higher expectations for them.
yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll try to see if we can power through this. This is why Michael usually.
Yeah,
Yep.
I noticed that.
Yep. This is why Michael usually is the guy who should, because my internet is crappy. But but yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we won't try to go too long on that then.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think large in part this is probably going to be, for the podcast, and just a lot of breaking down what's going on here, because yeah, this is symptomatic. This is a time that really is important, because the fan temperature, like we've mentioned, these must-win games are not being won. And the more that we do not get results that are what we need, yeah, it's basically, okay, yeah, you might have a little late season resurgence again, and okay, yeah, you might be able to get some people on board just, for the short term, but essentially, I think most fans do not trust this team. They don't trust the club.
Yep.
Like, so many of the decisions that have been made have not been fruitful. And, the non-fervent fans, their patience is not there. Why would they be patient? Today, I'm surprised, okay, yeah, I'm surprised people even sacrificed, maybe their Saturday to go to this. Because there was shaky knees, there's Cinco de Mayo, there's, I'm sure, all sorts of excuses not to go. And this is what we were treated with. A completely flat first half. But, yeah, Jack Dickens says, Abram is a bozo. Joshua Ilsa says, Way is not working out of the game. I'm not sure, you keep saying that, I'm not really sure what you're referring to, actually. If you want to clarify what you mean, happy to get into that. But JLFATL says, I want to see a Garth press conference. Yeah, I mean, I think that's... Yeah. We have not really heard too much from Garth Lagerway. Yeah, I think it's kind of time, and I think it might be, if we do hear from him, it's probably to announce somebody else. But it's but yeah, it seems like it might be working a little bit better now. I'm getting the green versus the red that we were seeing earlier. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, everybody, with that. But yeah, I mean, guys, what do you guys feel like, besides Pineda, can be done? We have a summer window. We can bring in some reinforcements. But yes, as somebody mentioned, let me find that comment, because I saw it, but I didn't get to read it yet. But let's see. It was about Diop, and
Yeah, Diop said it best. If you know, you know.
Right. And I want to give whoever said that credit for saying it,
Jack
but
Dickinson.
Jack Dickinson. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, frankly, I'm not even sure he's average. Like
Yeah,
it's obviously his first job, and he he talks decently to the to the press, but right now it's it's a stretch because essentially he's saying things like, "Oh yeah, I need to review the tape. You know, I need to we need to go back and see what's going on." And it's like, I feel like you should know. I feel like you should
yeah, exactly.
in the press, like, yes, okay, yeah, you don't want to, burn your players, drag them through the mud, uh, run them under the bus publicly, but I mean, there's levels to this that I mean, you can speak about what's happening and
Yeah.
not run your guys under the bus. Yeah, we'll keep reading this chat here. Um, let's see. We got the Ducks. Hi. Is my reception glitching? Oh, yeah, we're past that already. Let's see. Jack Dickens says, I don't know what happened to our ambition, but it seems like we need to bring in a proper coach and give him the GD players like we did it for Tata. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's w- basically we have succumbed to mediocrity,
Yep.
and we're just allowing it to happen. Uh, Nick Dunbar says, "Dudes, I'm at a loss." Antara, yes, it's working better. Play through the middle for F's sake, says Nick Dunbar. Everything down the wing. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, okay, you know, there's there's obvious moments where we look the most dangerous, and it's when we play through the middle, when we play an incisive pass. Because yes, okay, some parts of it, yes, you do need to play to your wings, but I think we rely on that. We we essentially always hope for a Brooks Lennon cross, and
Yep.
also, yeah, when you have Edwin Mosquera down the side, it's redundant. It's just the two of them offer the same thing. I mean, yes, Lennon is not as pacey as Mosquera, so yes, okay, yeah, you might be able to find that, uh, that pass from deep where you can get it over the top and Mosquera can, kind of get in behind. But yeah, you need more dynamism. Like it's just really we we're predictable. We we just have one note to our attack, and yeah, I think it's pretty obvious in the type of strikers that we have what we're trying to do. We have
Yep.
three target forwards. We're just pumping crosses in. Like it's just not.
I say at this point, this is probably another thing we got to consider. This was probably Tristan again, one of Tristan's bad games,
Yeah,
and it's consistently happening. We got to look at somebody another eight to put in there because I do think there's a disconnect between in the center of the park here. Muyumba is great defensively usually. Today he was not great in that aspect, but we're not getting that connection between the back line to the center of the park to Almada in the center. And I think I, I don't know what's going to solve it because Schleich is trying to do everything in his power to create, but he's having to cover defensively so much that he's not able to operate. You can see him trying to make the runs, trying to play the balls through the middle, but nobody is there to do anything with it. And we're just I don't know what's going to fix it at this point. I don't.
yeah. I mean, it's basically I think you're right. I think we need a more dynamic eight. Um, because I mean, yeah, Schleich is cleaning up a lot of stuff. He's basically, I don't know how some other people were basically slating Schleich and saying that he's the worst
Oh,
six that we've ever had because I don't see it. I mean, he's essentially keeping us in a lot of games because of how much he's able to clean up in front of that defense. He can't clean up everything, but he's
no.
been able to basically paper over a lot of these cracks. And it's
I was gonna say,
yeah.
he's been fantastic. He's been the shining star of this team for this first half of the season,
Yeah.
or this first quarter of the season, because his defensive work rate is excellent. He is in. Usually, he doesn't even need to make the crunching tackles or break up plays because he's in the position to that the attacker usually just turns and has to play a ball back because there's nowhere to go, and that's a really key thing for us. It slows down the tempo of the game, allows us to get back into position, and he's starting to get better with the forward passes. I've started seeing him jump up into the attack a lot more recently, but he can't do everything. It's just not possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great points. It's basically yes. Okay, is he the best six in this league? No, but you know I think he is making way roads to I think a bit of that conversation. But we also need to get results in order for that to even be part of that. But yeah, let's get into more of the chat here. People are going off, and let's see. Antara Moody says facts. Jennifer Trophy. Jack Dickens says we need new wingers. I felt like people might not like this take, but Saba and Shonda, I'm not sure they're going to take us to the next level. Yeah, I mean, I think they took us to a level last season, but are they the ultimate level raisers? Who knows? The jury's out, and right now, both are essentially either underperforming or injured too often to make an impact, and we're having to rely on players that honestly have no business in our 11. They,
Yep.
yeah, they essentially are making us, uh, yeah,
Hmm.
pretty much drop points. I mean, it's just like there's no other way to say it. But Nick Dunbar says we have one objective: feed the wings, either running behind, left, or keep it wide and cross. Also says there's got to be some patterns of play through the middle. Absolutely. Gavin says, I just remember we play Charlotte Independence this upcoming week. I won't have nails if we lose to another USL team. Right? Yeah. It's like I can't imagine how
Yeah.
empty that fifth third bank stadium is going to be. Like
Oof.
it's just yeah, like the okay, yeah, you might have the people that already bought tickets, but no casual fans are gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go to Kennesaw on a weekday to see this team right now.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Exactly. Nope.
Chris James also,
Especially with
yeah,
this team.
yeah, exactly. With the performance right now, it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, yeah, on this, because yes, it will be a very difficult week with the match congestion, with I mean, us playing in the U.S. Open Cup, where, I mean, I shudder at the at our ability to put the ball in the back of the net to
Ooh.
in a game where we have to win.
Yep.
I mean, because this is the thing, we'll probably field a little bit of a chopped and changed side, and in that, we're asking for trouble. Like this team is not in form. Neither are the understudies. Uh, let's see. Chris James says, "I'm not even sure how it's possible how we got bad so quickly. We have a better than average roster." Yeah, I think a lot of pundits thought that yeah we could challenge for maybe fourth or fifth spot in the East, but that ain't happening right now. Nick Dunbar, when they pressed high and played a high line, no one made runs from deep to destroy the high line. Everything wide. Absolutely. I mean, it is. It's a lack of instruction. It's a lack of uh, clearly the know-how to know how to break down teams. And I mean, at this point, it's not like it's like complete 11s that are just just not the players that we want. Like 9 of 11 players. That's that's more than Pineda has had for some spells too. But Nick Dunbar also says Lennon doesn't need pace because he starts running at top speed earlier than his defenders, so he wins. He gets more chance creation because the other guys are getting run by. It also, yeah, I mean, there is a bit of where Lennon maybe runs into traffic or into players when instead he should use his pace a little bit more cleverly. But
Hmm.
you know, Jack Dickens says great point, Drew, about the midfield. Exactly, exactly. Jeffrey Taylor says formation change because you're stuck with the personnel until July at a minimum. Uh, I'm not. Yeah, like I hear you, but I'm not really sure what that would achieve. We would essentially be taking off an attacker, and you know, like defensively, we're okay. We're okay. It's the dumb mistakes that are happening. We need to be able to essentially break down teams, and when you have one less attacker, it's not really kind of the solution exactly anyway. But Nick Dunbar says Tristan is fantastic 6, but not convinced of his ability to carry forward and combine forward. Yeah, I mean, he's more of the 8 for sure. Like he was brought in and he can be a little bit more defensive at times, but yeah, Schleich is more of the destroyer. He's more of the guy that can constantly kind of shield that defense because Muyamba, while he can break up play, like you know, obviously you need a little bit of steel, and Muyamba is 5'6" at best. So, you know, I think realistically he's probably like 5'4". Like, you know, the height disadvantage is just inherent. You can't do anything about that. But Jennifer Taylor also says, totally agree with Longshore's take on that tonight. There's not much else we can do to shake it up at the moment. Um, yeah, I mean, I just respectfully disagree. It's just like a formation change may yield some short-term results, but I don't know if it's going to be the long term to actually keep Pineda in his job. It's just like, and playing 5 or just like, wing backs. I don't know. It's there are some teams, some top teams that are maybe trying to see if that can work, but the top teams in the world are not doing that, and it's just not it's not the viable thing at the moment. I feel like, but Chris James says Schlieff is a baller. He's everywhere at all times. I think people just don't see it since he's not always on the end of the play. He's solid, absolutely for sure. Antara Moody says that is my thought. Jennifer, will Pineda change up his philosophy? It's more of it's more the philosophy because us just listlessly, passing it around, not really anywhere near the box, just you know, shoehorn, well, not shoehorn, U-shaped passing diagrams and patterns, and it's just bad. It's just that's that's what got FDB fired essentially.
Let's say we're starting to like some of the Greg Ball right now at points.
Yeah, Yeah. But okay. Next up, Micah Holmes. Welcome in. I think Muyumba and Sleeves can get forward, but systematically they are held down. I've seen sparks for them at Atlanta and their former clubs, but we focus on width so much, so they are limited. Yeah, I mean it's they're oftentimes having to sit back a little bit more uh, rather than join the attack. Because I think ideally you see the best teams pretty much play with kind of a 3-2-5. So like they will be fluid within the match, but essentially you have three at the back for that cover. You have two in the midfield to still bring kind of a box into that midfield, and then five people attacking. So at most times, with that fluidity, you have probably two or three people in the box. And then you also have width. But obviously, those are the best teams. That requires the best players. This league, not exactly that. So it will be a little bit difficult to kind of achieve that. But yeah. Gavin Marshall says, I love seeing AJ like this, but I can't stay for long. Well, you can always watch the replay, guys. But yeah, Jeffrey Taylor also says, take off one of the crap wing options, play three in the back. Cobb's been really solid. Push Wiley and Lennon up. We've seen them do it in the past. Yes, but we also, okay, we have two wing backs. And Ronald Hernandez is the understudy at both positions. That's all we got. Like the wingbacks in one of those systems would be doing the most running, and that's asking a lot of these players. Like they will burn out even quicker. So it's I don't know. Like I like that we're trying to come up with different types of options and ideas, and but I don't think we have the roster for it. Let's see. Jack Dickens says the good teams in MLS have multiple ways of playing to earn points, either at home or away, but we have one. Exactly. I mean, you got to look at. I think Columbus Crew is probably the best example of how to be able to one win in this league, be dynamic. Because yeah, Inter Miami, that's just a different thing. That's just a different animal. Like with Lionel Messi, you just can't even really compare. Like yeah, like scoring 6 on New York Red Bulls is outrageous. But Jack Dickens says, as far as a fan from London, England, I started supporting ATL from the way we played football in the first season. It's sad how far we've fallen since. Yep, yep. But Gavin, he says, LOL, I was saying I enjoy seeing AJ mad and speaking facts, but I can't stay for long. We need to get good again. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think it's getting to almost about an hour. Yeah, Drew, let us know your final thoughts.
We need to get out of this in fast. I don't know what it'll take. Coaching change. I'm hoping we see Cohen start on Tuesday. Get him in there, and maybe he goes on for the rest of the season. I don't know, but I don't know what we're gonna do for our attack. It's baffling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's if you don't drop Guzan now, when do you drop him? So,
Yep.
I mean, yes, the chance that they got from distance, yeah, he shouldn't have got the shot anyway. But yet, it's another shot that Brad Guzan gives up from distance. It's so I implore, if you don't drop Guzan now,
Please,
when do you?
It's exactly
because that might have changed the game. I think
that was a bad goal. I was gonna say that was a bad goal to give up. That was a savable shot.
Yeah.
and he just wasn't ready for it
Yep.
and could not get down in time. And that's bad. That is a bad goal to give up.
Yep. It absolutely is. It's yeah. I mean, if he had saved that shot, it would have been a different game. You know, like 1-0 down, we can come back from that. We can maybe even win this. But yeah, 2-0 down, super tough to come back when the past month, uh, either you hemorrhage leads or you can't score goals. And yeah, I think that's very telltale. Pretty much is we've lost confidence as players. The players have, but yeah, the fans definitely have too. I mean, it's like you basically you go up, you pretty much cannot keep leads. You go down early, you get another goal scored on you when you're yeah, it's just like the game management isn't there. Like, okay, yeah, you're 1-0 down at home. Do not let them score another one. Like, it's okay. You can be a little bit more patient. You'll when they scored it, yeah, it's like, okay, there's still a lot of time. But to go down 2-0 is egregious. Uh, yeah. Well, yeah, you give your final thoughts. Drew, really appreciate you. As always, much love to you. We will have better days, but yeah, this is obviously, you know, definitely, I think,
Yeah.
therapy for all of us, I'm sure. But,
I was going to say, this is therapy at this point.
yep. But, yeah, because this is the thing. MLS is a long season, but, I mean, if we don't stop this bleeding, like, it can get ugly quick. So, but, yeah, Drew, have a lovely night, and, yeah, we'll speak with you soon.
Night.
All right, guys. Well, things might be frozen a little bit. Hold on. Here we go. Hello, hello. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you know, get your thoughts in the chat. We're about to shut it down. But make sure you like and make sure you subscribe if you're not already, because no freeloaders here. Make sure to help us with the algorithm. We're not the team, so smash the like for the messenger. But yeah, it's we'll have plenty of content in the future about all this. But yeah, Micah Holmes says thanks for the coverage even in these conditions. Absolutely, man. I mean, it's just that's why we're here. We're gonna get through this, but the question is if Pineda is along for the ride or not. If some of these other players are along for the ride or not, because the leash on some of these players is getting a little bit short. But let's see. Chris James says Guzan is like the Sopranos. Over. Yeah, it's just you can't concede from there. You cannot concede from there. Yes, Guzan has been a great servant to the club, our longest standing captain, and by all accounts, a really great guy and an exemplary person that has represented the club well. But it's just changes need to be made, because if you go 5 games without a win, changes need to happen. Jack Dickens says, I just hope Pineda gets sacked. That's my thought at the moment. Lex Zone 6. This was game number 100 for Pineda. I don't know how big a sample size his supporters need. Exactly, right? Like, yeah, okay, he can change things, but this is the thing. It's like, what's different from what we saw in the first season? Yes, there are certain little tactical things that have changed. but the results have still largely been the same. We're mediocre. And we don't look anything like where we can actually beat a good side. We're fool's gold. When have we beat a top side? Don't tell me Seattle, because Seattle, you see them now. Like, yeah, we won a game on the road against a side that their own supporters don't even rate the team. Yeah, Antara Moody says 5 stripes don't stop. Yeah, I mean, the fans don't stop. That doesn't mean we can just accept the mediocrity that we have slid into. So yeah, we will not stop. We will be fervent. And when we are looking this bereft, yeah, people have to go. Lex Zone 6, love Goose, but we're going to have to give him the old yellow treatment. Yeah, unfortunately. Jack Dickens says, look at the best coaches, managers in MLS. All are adaptable. 100%. They need more than one way to play. And I think it's been the pattern when every game on the road, yeah, we're not going to win. We know this. We're not going to win. It's just, yeah. But yeah, guys, I think now's a good time. We won't be doing the wheel tonight. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different things that, frankly, unfortunately, yeah, you know, it's probably the music's not there either. Michael's usually, manning it, of course, and yeah, definitely everybody wish Michael super well. Unfortunately, yeah, it was his birthday, and he was sick, and he's still been sick. He's trying to fight pretty much nasty cold, and yeah, all the well wishes to our comrade Michael, and hopefully he will recover ASAP. But yeah, make sure to, in the comments below, just give him a lot of love. He will see it, and yeah, hopefully that will make some way roads into making him feel better, because for damn sure this game didn't make that happen either. But yeah, Jack Diggins, you're very welcome. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you. Everyone who stuck around, watched. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Antara, I don't mind Pineda being fired, but we'll blank fire him now. Yeah, who knows? Gavin, you're very welcome. Lex, you're very welcome. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys. And yeah, have a great rest of your nights. Just go watch a comedy. Go watch a film. Go watch a series. Get this bad taste out of your mouth. We will reconvene soon. But yeah, guys, see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.